Hello, I'm Brigantia Blackbird of the Blackbird Grimoire. Good morning. Happy Suna's Day on this Sunday, March 10th, 2024. This is the daily forecast. And of course, we begin by hailing Suna the Brilliant, as this is her day. Now, our astrology for the day. The sun is in Pisces, a mutable water sign representing compassion. We have lots of movement with the moon. It reached fourth quarter Pisces, mutable water representing artistry. Then we had our new moon at 4 a.m. Central Time. Now, if you are planning to do an observance, you'll probably want to do that earlier today if you possibly can, if you're wanting to work with the Piscean energy, because the moon will go void, of course, at 2:45 p.m. Central Time, and then it will enter first quarter Aries, a cardinal fire sign representing energy. So depending on when you do your ritual, you will get rather different energies to play around with. So just bear that in mind. Mercury is in the sign of Aries, a cardinal fire sign representing alertness. Venus is in Aquarius, a fixed air sign representing the intellectual capacities. Mars is in Aquarius, fixed air, staid. Jupiter is in Taurus, fixed earth, representing practicality. Saturn remains in Pisces, a mutable water sign representing nostalgia. Uranus is in Taurus, a fixed earth sign which is renovation. Neptune is in Pisces, a mutable water sign, which is very imaginative. And Pluto, of course, is still in Aquarius, fixed air sign representing reformation. Now, of course, the moon's phase, we are going from the waning crescent, which means rest, relaxation, and banishing ills, to the brand new crescent, which means the planting of the seeds to come. Now, as we are going into that Aries moon, especially as we get closer to that time when it makes that transition, here's some do's, to act bravely. Good day for brainstorming and to make decisions, but don't get mired in conflict resolution. It's not going to go very well. Don't get too stuck in routines. The agitation of the Aries moon will make that a pretty miserable experience. So avoid that if you can, and avoid the sharp objects. Yes, literally. As this is the day of the sun calls upon us to cleanse, to shine, and to tackle the day very proactively. And while the sun is remaining in the very dreamy Pisces, today we also have that new moon, as we mentioned, that begins the new cycle. So this is when we really need to unite the intentions of our daydreams with the strength of practical action. So especially if you're having to wait until tonight to do that new moon ritual, you can seize upon that Aryan energy. Well, Aries energy, I suppose I should say. The other could get rather misconstrued. So, seize the Aries energy and bring what you're wanting to do into actual fruition. It's all about do. Now, our tarot card for today is the Hermit, appropriately enough, as the moon is at its lowest point. It's a major arcana card, and of course, that means it's going to have a very massive and long-lasting impact where it applies. It is the ninth card of the tarot, and in this deck, the number 9 represents the third and the final stage of completion. And the key words of the card specifically are specialization, seclusion, and guidance. As you have all that lunar energy forcing us all to go inwards, even though it is a bright and sunny Sunday, it is still a little bit more of, we are wanting to be on our own. We might be amongst the people we're normally around. We might be doing the tasks we normally do, but within our minds and our hearts and our souls, we are somewhat detached from the proceedings. And that's perfectly okay. That kind of detachment, that is what will allow us to plant the seeds of ideas within ourselves and bring those forth into fruition as well, when the time is right. Sometimes you just need to be on your own a bit. Today's Celtic Triad reads 3 things which the patient will gain: love, tranquility, and succor. Now, on the subject of love, of course, if we show patience, and especially in our relationships, that is going to allow love and affection to have a very natural, organic growth of the feelings. And, with your relationships, you won't be hurrying, or you won't be trying to fake sentiments. There won't be anything forced, or anything that feels dishonest or untrue about it. It can just be what it is. If you are patient, you will experience tranquility, which means you're not going to be constantly ruffled by life's little travails. Now, this will vary a little bit for people depending upon their natural temperament. And if you do have a feistier temperament, I don't want you to beat yourself up on that. It doesn't mean that you will never experience tranquility. It just means that it's going to require a little bit more self control for you rather than someone who tends to be a bit more passive. And this isn't a bad thing. It takes all sorts to make a world. So just try to be more at peace than what you would ordinarily be. And then succor. Now, because succor is not a word that is in common usage, I did make sure that we understood what the definition was. And essentially, it is assistance and support during times of hardship and distress. And my goodness, are we ever going through that? Those of us who haven't been completely cast down by the economic situation, I think we're pretty thankful and feel extremely fortunate that we have not had to face greater difficulties than what some other people are. And the people who have really, truly been suffering, I mean, they are in genuine need of succor. And it isn't easy for anyone to be patient when you have just immediate needs in your face all of the time. But if they are successful in learning that trick, well, they will have a little bit more calm with which to go about their tasks. And I have noticed that when people are facing tribulations with a sense of calm and a sense of purpose, they don't tend to drive away the things and the people that will help them. So that's something to think about as well. So, for our correspondences for today, they are all built around the intention of power because our color of the day is amber. I chose the oak tree to go along with that, as well as the animal for the elk and the crystal of citrine. I love all of these things because these all have very strong associations with power as a force, which is what power is. So, if your batteries are feeling low today, this is the perfect day to recharge. Working with any of these energies, even if you just have a citrine crystal that you can keep on you today, that's absolutely going to help boost you up, which maybe you'll need just a little extra push to have a really successful new moon ritual. So, our practices for today, to begin with, if you haven't already, greet the dawn, or at least the sun, and honor a solar deity. You might, if you have some spare time this afternoon, use some seasonal ingredients to create an afternoon tea treat. I think we should bring back the custom of afternoon tea on our days off. Such a beautiful thing, allows a person to just relax. You can also meditate while holding selenite and clear quartz in order to cleanse up your own energy system. A good idea to do, seeing as how, again, we do have that new moon ritual to perform. And also just because we have a week. We have the whole next week ahead of us. So going in with that in a state of strength and in a state of health is just going to be to our benefit. And of course, go over your schedule for the next week. Make sure you're actually prepared. You can make it so much easier on yourself to get through a myriad of tasks if they're on your radar, you have a list of things need to be done, an idea of the order in which they need to be done, and you can just cross those off the list one tiny chunk at a time. It makes it so much easier and more manageable. So I now leave you with this spring picture of the forsythia bushes in full bloom, as well as a journal prompt. Now, as it is daylight savings time, grr, and we have just lost an hour of precious sleep, grr again, and this is all happening in the midst of the busy season of spring. So the question is, do you feel shortchanged? And does this affect you on the magical and spiritual level? The fact that we've got all these whammies coming together. We lost the sleep. It's a new moon. The moon's energy is shifting from Pisces to Aries in pretty short order today. We have the whole week ahead of us to get through. It just, if you're feeling a little bit off kilter and off balanced, working on this journal prompt, sorting out your feelings, And that'll be a good way to get yourself tempered down so that when you do your new moon ritual, everything will be just as you want it to be. And you won't have anything hectic or noisy in the background energy that'll be, throwing you off your game. So that is what I have for you today. Come back tomorrow. We'll have another daily forecast. In the meantime, let me know what you're thinking and how you might be using all this information in the comments below. Or you can reach out to me at brigantiablackbird@protonmail.com, and I'd be happy to have a discussion with you there. But that'll do it for now, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.